I spend a lot of time consulting small business owners and real estate investors from their first dollar all the way up to $15 million plus a year in business revenue. And if there's one thing that I can point back to that's yielded some of the biggest results that we've seen whenever a client is able to come in, get access to business capital, is the framework that I'm about to run you through right now in this video. So this is known as the 5 deep rule, which is having the proper business classification in place. Now, the reason why this is important and the reason why I wanted to share this with you is because I can't tell you how many times we'll get someone that comes in to our program. We're helping them build out a simple funding setup, installing it into their business, and they have a 800 plus credit score. They're generating 250K a month in business revenue. They've been in business for over 6 years. They have a legit profitable business, and they're trying to get access to business capital, but they keep getting denied, or they keep getting weak low limits. Or I've also seen instances where a client comes in and they've been pretty successful with getting access to business capital, but it's almost like they hit a wall, even though nothing in the actual business model changed. And so that's why I wanted to run you through the exact framework in an audit that we run them through, which is known as the 5 deep rule, that helps them get access to the right proper business classification. And so what we're going to cover in this training right here is the what, why, when, where, and how of industry codes, the 5 deep rule, what it actually is, and how you can use this in your own business. But before we even get there, like, why is this even important? Irv, why should I even care about changing my business classification code if it's wrong? Why should I even pay attention to it if it's something that's, this is maybe the first time that I'm watching it in a video? Well, if you're allergic to money, or if you don't care about money for your business, then turn off the video. That this video most likely isn't for you. But if you do want to have this dialed in place, then I will tell you that it will save you from it costing you a fortune. Because if you don't have this dialed in, then the natural ramification of it is the exact opposite. It's going to cost you a fortune. And I'm not talking about just opportunity costs, even though I have that here. I'm talking about legit ramifications financially, which means money becomes more expensive, which ends up bleeding through your bottom line, ends up ripping through your hard-earned profits. Not to mention, it also causes burnout, stress, and then you just wondering, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with my business? And so if there's one thing that I can try to solve for you in your business today, it's going to be this. But what exactly is an industry classification code? Like, Irv, walk me through this. This is typically a 6-digit number that you're going to get that's known as an NAICS code. That's what this is going to be. Now, there are some instances where you'll have an SIC code, which is a 4-digit number that you'll most likely see on your business credit report. But more often than not, it's going to be a 6-digit code that it's going to usually be referred to as an NAICS code. So whenever you hear someone say, or a banker, or you walk into a bank or financial lender says, hey, what's your NAICS code, or what's your industry code? It's essentially one and one the same. This is how your business is categorized and bucketed by financial institutions, government agencies, credit bureaus, vendors, and suppliers. So a quick example that I have for you, since we deal a lot with construction company owners and real estate investors, developers, is the one that you see right now on your screen, which is 531311. This is known as a residential property manager or residential property managers. Now, we're just going to be given this example right here, even though there's over a dozen different type of real estate classifications that you can use. We're not going to get too lost into the nuance as to which one is right or wrong for you, although this is something that we do with our clients day in, day out. If I can at least give you the mental model to think through, you're able to reverse engineer this in your own business and obviously make that change. Obviously, if you need our help, you can hit the link below, insideinnercircle.com. We'll love to jump on a call with you, but let's keep it going. The importance of reclassifying your business. It's always good to know why you're going to reclassify the business in case maybe you have to explain it to the IRS. Maybe you're making some internal team changes. Maybe you're swapping out vendors, suppliers. Whatever that reason is, I always tell our clients, hey, it's a good reason to know why you're actually doing it, even if you don't owe anyone an explanation. But in the event that the IRS does say, hey, you've been operating as let's say as an LLC single member, and you've been a real estate developer up to this point, to our knowledge, why are we all of a sudden transitioning into maybe a real estate brokerage? Or why are you suddenly transitioning into a real estate, let's say, property manager, kind of like what we have listed above? Now, I want to give you some additional reasons why someone would change the classification of their business or for the industry that they're involved in. First one is strategic repositioning, which we do quite a lot or quite a bit with our clients here at the Inside Inner Circle. A new business model. This is if maybe you were I'll use the example of a laundromat, and you own and you operated a laundromat for 4 years, and then now you're noticing, hey, it's getting a little bit tougher to get access to capital that I want, or the business that I have just flat out altogether changed, and you just wanted to reposition your business. Now, like a little caveat, sucks that I have to say this because obviously in YouTube, so many things can get lost in translation, but you only want to make the reclassification if it actually suits the business. Don't just do it for the sake of getting funding, although this very much so does unlock more access to capital. You want to do it if it makes sense for the business. Far too often, I'll see someone, maybe they'll watch a video or not from us, from someone else, or someone told them, hey, if you put on there that you are a consultant, then you're going to never get denied for business credit again. We are seeing that flop in real time where someone's coming in and saying, hey, I put on there that I'm a consultant, industry code 541611, and I'm still getting denied. Well, if that's not what your business actually does, then yes, you're going to get denied. The whole point of this is congruency in the business. But let's keep it going. Next is zoning requirements. Maybe there's a new zoning change that happened in your state, your municipality, locally, in your town that's requiring you to have that reclassification added or for you to reclassify, reposition the business. Market access, maybe you're moving into kind of like what we just finished talking about with the laundromat example. You're moving into a new market, so now you want new market access, or you just flat out restructuring the entity as a whole. Now, again, there's no right or wrong reason as to why you may want to reclassify your business, other than you want to make sure that it's congruent and you want to make sure that it's lined up properly. Now, if you're wondering, when should I make the change? Like, is there a timing? Is there an exact date? Depending on when you're watching this, I'm recording this video right now in the beginning of January 2025. One of the easiest and quickest ways that you can make the change for your classification is going to be during tax season. You can easily connect with your tax advisor, with your tax strategist, whoever's helping you on the financial side, which I have listed down here on the 5 deep rule of how to actually go about that. But this is going to be one of the what we call lowest hanging fruits that you can take advantage of to make sure that you're able to get a quick bump or quick change on that classification so you can get the lift that you need. We have strategic reclassification. This is going to be a good time to, again, implement that tax strategy right now. This is when you're repositioning into a new industry that better aligns with your business strategy, maybe the one that you're taking into the new year, such as being a real estate developer, but you maybe are involved more deeply into property management with long-term buy and holds. Maybe the business was improperly categorized altogether. And now you say, hey, this is misclassified. So I'm not actually a real estate developer. I've been a real estate brokerage this entire time, or I've been a real estate, let's say, property manager this entire time. This would be a good time to make sure that the business is properly categorized. And again, if we're just using this example right here, it would be this code right here that you would use. If I can get my mouse to work, 531311. And then lastly, after you've done a full, this will be like the third way of finding out if and when you need to reclassify your business. After you've done a full address audit, or I should say a full business structure audit. This is separate from an address, from a full business structure audit, and you find that the classification is off, meaning the industry that you're labeled as, or that you're labeled in, or that you're bucketed in, doesn't accurately describe your line of work, which is kind of goes hand in hand with this piece right here. That would be an ideal time for you to not just classify the business, because that's more so if you're doing it from scratch, to reclassify the business. Now, here's the 5 deep rule that you can screenshot this. You can, if you have access to the PDF, to the doc that we have, maybe comment below. We'll maybe create a page to send it out to you if you already have it. And if you came from Instagram, as a matter of fact, do this. If you're coming from Instagram, go ahead and DM me. I'll go ahead and drop the word, and I'll make sure that you get access to this PDF. But the first level that you want to make sure in the 5 deep rule that you make this change to, again, if you're changing that that 6-digit code, is going to be at the federal level, and that's going to be with the IRS. If you have, you can either do this yourself, or again, you can contact your accountant to make the change for you. If you are a single member LLC, which the majority of you guys are based on some of the feedback that I've been getting, or you just have an LLC altogether, or you're a sole proprietor, then odds are you have what's called a Schedule C. At the top right, that's the tax form that you use to file your taxes that goes with your 1040. At the top right hand corner, you'll have a box with 6 digits on there. That box is where your classification goes. And so if you're looking at your tax returns right now, if maybe you filed it and you're looking at it and you're doing a reverse search, you're flat out Googling, hey, what is this NAICS code? And you plug in those 6 digits and it doesn't align with what you actually do, might be time to change it. If you're going to be filing taxes for the first time for your business, then you want to go in and talk to your accountant, or if you're filing your taxes yourself on TurboTax, which I don't recommend, but talk to your accountant and let them know, hey, this is the classification that I want to be known as. This is my business right here. Government, state, and local. This is going to be your Secretary of State. You want to make sure that it's dialed in and properly coded on there. Your state tax agency, and then your city and or council, county clerk and zoning departments. If you're maybe more on the GC side, if you're trying to get zoning, if you're trying to get permits, if maybe you're getting more into the brick and mortar space, or flat out your jurisdiction requires for them to be notified, hey, we need to know what your classification is, like what's your actual line of work. I know for Florida, we don't necessarily have that, but those of us in Washington State, you'll see a section on your Secretary of State's website where it does have your classification on there. That would be a good place to update it. Next level is financial and creditor level. This is going to be with banks, any credit cards, any business lines of credit, if you already have access to those. If you have any vehicles and you're maybe switching out the industry that you're in, or you're reclassifying the industry because you're starting to scale and you want to make sure you do this the right way, that would be a good place to also update it. I can't tell you how many times we'll come across a client that starts working with us, and they found some success in the past getting access to capital, but they hit a wall and they're wondering what the heck is going on now. I went from accessing, real life case study here was 110, 120, and now I keep getting these $5,000 approvals, or I just keep getting the night altogether. What happened? Where it could be that the lending appetite for the industry that you're involved in moved. And this is getting a bit more nuanced, but what that means is the bank that was dealing with your industry, or the banks that were dealing with your industry, no longer approve at the level that they were, meaning they no longer want to work with your type of business or your type of industry. That would be a good time to consider reclassifying and repositioning yourself into a new industry, which we do that day in, day out with our clients. So if you're wondering, hey, is this just for beginners? Is it for me? If I am an existing, it's for all of us, right? We're doing this day in, day out. Vendors and suppliers, if you've been working with vendors, maybe big time lenders, local lenders, national level, local, you can also classify or give them your new classification, or make sure that the classification that you have, it's the exact 6-digit code that you need. The bureau level, this is going to be both with personal credit and business credit. If you're wondering, Irv, why would this be on the personal credit side? Well, you want to make sure that if you're listing your stuff as maybe an employee of the business, that data that's being fed from the personal credit bureau to the business credit bureau and back at it is how the business needs to be structured. A lot of us, if you're doing this right, then you shouldn't be listed your personal credit report. You shouldn't find 50 different addresses or 50 different employees, especially if you're an employee yourself, or if you're working within the business yourself. And so the main places that you're going to want to make this change is going to be with Experian, Equifax, and Dun & Bradstreet on the business side. You're going to want to pull up a fresh credit report. You're going to want to run a full audit through it, and you're going to make those changes. It's either going to be an SIC code change or an NAICS code change. Last but not least, at the licensing level, again, this is more for maybe some of our GCs or electricians. If you have a business that's heavily required on certifications, maybe you're a real estate broker, then at that point, you're going, or even insurances, at that point, you're also going to notify them, let them know, hey, this is my industry code. What do you guys have me listed as? I want to make sure that it's properly classified. Or, hey, I noticed that this isn't properly classified. You guys have me listed as some ballerina company and I lay brick for a living. What is this? At that point, there's incongruencies there. And I can tell you from experience, just one of these places, zooming back out, if let's say the IRS has you listed as a real estate property manager, but your bank has you listed as some company that sells ice cream down the street. Well, guess what? When you go in to apply for a business line of credit, when you go in to ask for a line of capital or ask for a line of credit, increase your capital line, whatever that is, you're going to get denied or you're going to get those weak limits altogether. If you're going in and the bureaus, let's say that the bank does a poll on your business credit report and they see, wait a minute, you're coming in and you're saying that you're a general contractor, but the business credit bureaus actually have you listed as a consultant or actually have you listed as a logistics company. So, what exactly are you? Just for that, we're going to deny you. I wanted to release this training and I wanted to give you this training because it goes beyond just having a strong credit score. That's a piece of it. It goes beyond just having the right address for your business. That's a piece of it. You want to take a look at the picture as a whole, holistically, and you want to have your business dialed in all together, which is, again, what we focus on here with our clients and why we build out business funding setups for them so that they can have this dialed in and installed into their businesses. So if you found value in this content today, consider hitting the subscribe button down below. If you would like to connect with us and see, hey, run an audit, let's see what your business looks like and see how we can install a business funding setup into your business so that you can get access to more capital and continue to scale. We'd love to connect with you. Go ahead, book a call with us down below, insideinnercircle.com. I'll drop the link in the comments. But other than that, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.